Oh, I guess we're here. So, gonna check something real quick here just to make sure everything is working as it should. Still new to this, obviously. Things are starting to come along. Okay. Alright, still interesting, I think, that I do have a touch of lag, it seems, with the audio, and really just the whole transmission, but I guess that's just the upload process to Twitch or whatever. So, without further ado, we are going to continue on our adventure. Now, when we left off, we'd seen the entire prologue of the game. Cecil and his Red Wings had done some very bad things in a village, I guess, far away, called Misida, and he stole a crystal from the people there, and then he brought it back to his king in the kingdom of Baron. When he voiced some regret about what he had done, the king basically exiled him and his friend Cain, and is sending them on a mission to deliver a package to the village of Mist. Now, supposedly, some people, like Cain, think that, the king will come to his senses and that he will reinstate Cecil as the captain of the Red Wings. Cecil's not so sure, but he's morally conflicted at this point. We also talked a bit about how he made a comment that he had mastered this thing called the Dark Sword, meaning he is a dark knight. And we talked a little bit about how that could mean one of two things. In the game setting here, it could mean that Dark Knights are not inherently evil. It's just a fighting style or a philosophy that you undertake. Or it could mean that they do have a bad reputation. There were some people in town that said things like, "Oh my goodness, a Dark Knight." And it could be that just Cecil is a good person who happens to be a Dark Knight. So, we've got a couple things going on there. What I want to focus on in today's episode is that in the last episode, we started off with seeing Cecil and his Red Wings consciously and willfully doing something that they considered morally wrong. So that is going to play into something that we see today. So, without further ado, let's get a move on here. So I'm going to explore around just a little. Is there a first actual battle of the game? So we've got Cain and we've got Cecil. I remember being very proud of myself when I was a kid. Without using scan or anything like that, I found out through trial and error that these imps had all of 6 hit points, and it's just one of those random stupid things that I will always remember. So Cain is a dragoon. They don't really talk too much about what that means in the game, I don't think, but what it means for our purposes is that he has a jump attack. Basically, he jumps into the air at a great height and then comes down to skewer his opponent with his spear. And we can see that here. Now, while he's in the air, he does not take damage. And his jump attack is powerful. It just usually takes him a moment to come back down. So he did 72 points of damage to that creature there, which you can see is a deal more than Cecil was doing with his regular attack. And a deal more than he is doing with his regular attack. Cain is versatile, though, as a lot of characters in this game are, which I find interesting. Later Final Fantasy games, a lot of the characters are restricted to one weapon type. Like in 7, Vincent uses guns, Cid uses spears, Cloud uses swords, Tifa uses different metal-plated gloves. In 8, the same thing. Like Squall uses gun blades, Rinoa uses the spinny, flyy thing that she launches off her wrist. Irvine uses guns. Same in 9, same in 10. But in this game, a lot of the characters can use a lot of different weapons and armor, which I think is really cool. It shows them as, I guess, more interesting and diverse of skill than a lot of old, newer Final Fantasies showed. Some eagles here. Take care of real quick. I'm wandering around, you notice, again, like I said, I do enjoy the world map in this game a lot, and I particularly enjoy the music, as I mentioned last time. The overworld music is just one of those haunting, somewhat lonely but mysterious themes, and I really enjoy it. That waterfall, that's great. This is 1991, right? I was 9 years old when this came out. And you see me going through the forest here. I am curious. I'm going through these really to check and see if there's any Chocabo forests in there. Again, I know I'm pronouncing these things wrong, and we'll all just have to deal with that. I'm trying to pronounce these the way that I did when I was playing this game the first time. Because again, before voice acting, none of us knew what these weird words were, right? And even today, like Cecil's name, there are some people that pronounce it Cecil. And I always found that like a weird pronunciation, but whatever, to each their own. So you guys are going to hear me talk about Chocobos. It's not the worst pronunciation of Chocobo I've ever heard. The worst one I ever heard was someone who called them Kookaboos. And again, before voice acting, no one knew how this stuff was pronounced, so we all just made it up as we went along. So it's a lot like when you're reading a book, right? And there's weird names and things in there, and there's no pronunciation guide, so you just go with it. Like one of my favorite books, the Sword of Shannara, right? Is it Shannara? Is it Shannara? Is it something completely different from those? I don't know. I met Terry Brooks once. It was back in 2006, and he made a comment. I think someone asked the question, how do you pronounce some of these things? And his response was basically, it doesn't matter. It's up to you how you want to pronounce them. Okay, so here we are in the Misty Cave. Remember that the king had given us the mission to go to the village Mist, and here we are in the Misty Cave. So obviously the village got its name from something, and this appears to be it. This is really cool because what you're seeing here is something that I don't think that Nintendo was ever able to do. Like, this is Super Nintendo being able to layer, put a layer on top here to make this fog effect, which is really cool. Man, I remember getting my butt kicked in here when I was a kid. I had no idea how to play RPGs at that point. So now my 8-year-old son, he found, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. He found Super Mario RPG all on his own. He's been playing that. I've kind of been teaching him the basics of how to play an RPG, which is kind of fun. Mario RPG, by the way, great game. We'll probably go over that one at some point. Now, if I remember, there's like secret passages in some walls. And I don't know if this is a version where you can see the passages or not. In some versions of the game, like there's a black line that's darker than the rest of the screen, and that's how you can really see where. Hey, there we gained a level. You can see where the passages are. I don't know. So I'm playing this is. Mysterious voice telling us to go back. Who is it? I don't know. So I'm playing a revision of this game. It's just Final Fantasy II Revision 1, so I'm not sure if those secret passages, if them being visible was edited out of this one, and they are instead invisible, but we'll find out. Again, I can't remember if there's any in this particular cave, but they do pop up a lot in this game. So the reason I'm jumping these guys is because if you kill them in one hit, fine, but I think they have a counterattack on them, where if you hit them and don't kill them, then they will shoot spines at you. Parry is defense. So in a lot of Final Fantasy games, you can push right on the controller, and it will go into defensive mode for your characters. In this one, it is called parry. Just walk around, checking things out. I think this is a heal. Yep, nice. Imps. Speaking of Terry Brooks and Shannara, there are creatures in the Shannara books called gnomes, and because I read those books around the same time that I found this game, the gnomes in that game, I always had them pictured in my head like the imps in this game, so they kind of just blur together in my memory. Again, just commenting on the music again. Uematsu Nobuo is obviously just a fantastic composer, and for this to be someone's introduction into Final Fantasy, like, it obviously hooked me instantly. I would go on throughout middle school and even into high school, recording just on a tape player the tracks from games like this. I think we've pretty much, one more. I think we've cleared this place out. I'm not seeing any tunnels anywhere, so I think this is not a place that has any. Oh, one more, perhaps. Oop. At least it's a different enemy this time. I sort these in a particular way because when we get into battle, I just find it easier to grab them. Leave now. Is it a monster? One's from Baron. Who are you? Return now and I will not harm you. Show up. Do you still wish to go on? So you can hit no here, and nothing happens, you just can't progress. So you eventually do have to hit yes, I do wish to go on. We must deliver this package to the village of Mist. Then I must. The mist is gathering. So this is our first real taste of a boss fight. This is the Mist Dragon, or as you can see here, again, character limitations of the day. D-Mist. It's the Mist. Obviously standing for Dragon Mist. So this dragon, again, is your first introduction to boss fights in this game, and I just messed up. It turns into mist, and when it does, if you hit it or attack it, then it's going to retaliate with the cold mist ability. And because this is your first boss fight, they're going to try to explain to you, hey, when the boss is like this, don't attack it or it's going to freeze you with that breath. Obviously, Kane was up in the air. I didn't really have any control over that. So this is a point in time where you can heal or just defend, and we're going to wait for this thing to re-emerge. There we go. I'm ready. go. I got it. And not too difficult, but again, if you're playing this for the first time like I was when I was 9 or 10 years old, it was tough because you didn't really know what you were doing. Alright, Cain gained a level, that's great. Alright, so we defeated a dragon. And now we can progress through the cave. I'm going to save it here. Just cause. No reason really. Not that anything important is going to happen in just a moment. Definitely wasn't, an emergency save, just in case. We got some sandmen here. Still no problem for us. Cecil and Cain. Even someone at the castle said, hey, if we teamed up, no one would be able to beat us. And as you can see here, no one can touch us. Not sandmen, not mist dragons, not imps, nothing. Oh. The square before we got to the town. Come on, really? Ooh, that sandpede is stronger than we gave it credit for. Won't make that mistake twice. Damn, Cain. He was pissed he didn't get it on the jump, so he made sure he got it on that second strike. Alright. Again, you're going to see me do this a lot. I am a compulsive saver, so we're just going to have to deal with that. And here we go. Village Mist. Look, what a nice place. Got some brick buildings here, right in the middle just of the woods. Probably a really nice and peaceful place. Maybe we'll spend some time here. Uh-oh. Package opened automatically. What in the world is that? Probably nothing good. What? We've brought this package to burn the village? Why? Mommy. Who's that? My mom's dragon fell, so my mom did too. I've heard of the people with the power to summon monsters. They are callers. We defeated the dragon, so her mother is gone also. Uh-oh. You've beaten my mother's dragon. We didn't mean to do this to your mother. So before we go on here, I just want to make some commentary about what's happening in the story here. So I mentioned at the beginning of this recording that in the prologue of the game, Cecil and the Red Wings do something of their, well, maybe not of their own free will, but they were under orders, but they still carried out intentionally an immoral action. They did that. In this case, twofold in this case, they have done something that is immoral and more morally wrong, but they did not intend it. So again, this goes back to something that we started talking about in the last video, which was what part of morality is up to intention and what part is up to action. Because in all three situations, the stealing of the crystal and the attacking and imprisoning of those wizards or whatever from Masida, the defeating of the Mist Dragon, and now the burning of this village, those are three actions that are all, you could argue, immoral. Fighting the dragon, maybe not, since we were kind of pushed into it. But In only one of those instances did we actually intend harm to another person or group of people. And again, that was in the prologue when we stole the crystal. In this situation, we didn't mean to hurt this girl's mother. We saw a dragon, so we attacked it. We had a fight, and the dragon was defeated. We didn't know that that was going to have the consequence of hurting this girl's mother. And the same thing with the package in the town. We were under orders from the king to take the package to the town, but we had no idea what was going to happen when we arrived. We figured it was just a package. So are we to blame for what's happened here? Is it our fault? And I would argue yes. Even though we didn't intend to do these bad things were done by us, and our intentions were good, but intention doesn't matter a lot. So to this girl here, our good intentions mean nothing. All that matters is that we're responsible for, one, presumably killing her mother, and two, for burning down her village. That's on us. So, let's continue on here. His Majesty wanted to wipe out the callers of this village and used us to do it. Incredible. He probably means something else, not like, oh, that's incredible. Or like, I don't have a thesaurus in front of me. Like, what's a good word that we can use instead of incredible here? Maybe diabolical or something like that. I'm afraid we must do away with her too. Cain, she's just a kid. You dare to renounce your loyalty to His Majesty? Forget it. Never again will I follow such an order. So Cecil is going to stand up for the little girl here. Maybe the weight of his conscience has grown too great and he's not about to let another atrocity happen in front of him, or by his hand, or by the hand of his friend. Well, Cecil, I knew you'd say so. I won't let you do it alone. Cain? I owe His Majesty much. Still, I cannot disgrace the dragoons. Then will you... But Baron is the mightiest country in the world. It's impossible for us to challenge his might alone. We must gather other countries. And you know, we must rescue Rosa. Thank you, Cain. Not for your sake. This is planting something else now. Whose sake is it for? Spoiler alert. Cain has a thing for Rosa, while Rosa and Cecil are together. So you have a bit of a triangle going on here. Let's get out of here fast. What about that girl? We can't leave her here alone. Listen, it's dangerous here. It's dangerous here. Take this. Come with us, okay? No. Let's take her. No, go away. Wait, please. Go away. I hate you. I hate you all. So you're gonna fight a little girl? Come on. No. Oh dear God. Oh, she's all right. Cain. Cain? Cain! I can't stay here any longer. I have to escape from Baron with this girl. So they've deduced, not through anything that was said, just through action, again, very important here, that the King of Baron meant to wipe out the callers of this village, probably because he thinks that they are too dangerous and that they somehow pose a threat to him. Obviously, they are very powerful. We saw the little girl there, summoned Titan. and create an earthquake, which you'll see when we get out of here, but it has blocked access to the village, caused an avalanche. But yes, so without the king even saying anything, our two characters so far, Cain and Cecil, deduced that the king wanted these people wiped out. Cain was a bit more, you know what, the king wants it, so we should do it. Well, Cecil made it very clear that no, we're not going to do this. We are not going to, we've done bad already by inadvertently destroying this village. We're not about to kill a child. Come on. And Cain seemed to be okay with that, more or less. So the survivor here, Cecil, is going to take out of the kingdom of Baron and away, and presumably into hiding. You can see here, that's the town over there. So there was a massive avalanche after she called Titan. Alright. We're going to save. Alright. So I think that is going to about do it for the evening. You know what? Let's go to the next town. We'll go to the next town and then we'll call it a night. Vast desert. Right in the middle. Did you see it? Looked like there was a town. So Cecil is traveling now through this desert with an unconscious little girl being attacked by monsters. It was fine when Cain was with us, because not only did that provide a second target for the monsters to attack, but we could also dish out the damage. Right now, Cecil's all on his own, so things aren't bad, but they are a touch more dangerous than they were when we had Cain with us. Nice. So the way that the experience points work in this game, they are divided among the characters that are in your party. So what we have here is 320 experience, all going to Cecil. Right? If we had Cain with us, each of them would only get half of that. It's a little bit different compared to later Final Fantasies, I believe, where each character would get that 320. In here, instead, it's divided up. It's just how they display it. Okay. So here's an Oasis Town. Capo. She must rest. Walked right through that guy. Get out of my way. Welcome. Oh, take her to the room. Hurry up. Money? No, that's okay. Go ahead. Thank you. Okay, so he puts her in a bed, lets her rest, and apparently she's woken up a bit. You okay? ... I haven't heard your name yet. I know I have done an awful thing. I can't ask for your forgiveness. But at least, let me protect you. Please. I finally found you, Cecil. Wait. His Majesty decided that the Callers of Mist are too dangerous to be left alive. In case you were worried about this game having too much subtlety. What? Hand her over. No! So, Cecil has about had it with doing bad things for Baron. He is done. So somehow, this military officer and his men have found Cecil. Maybe the king sent them after him, to spy on him or something while he was making his way to Mist just to make sure he did what he was supposed to. Well, they finally caught up with him here in Capo. So, that's stereotypical, but you kill the officer's henchman, and then the guy in charge runs away. Did I get you in trouble? I'm sorry. Like, what does she have to be sorry for? Dude just wrecked her village. I mean, come on. It's for me to apologize. Well, I know you can't forgive me, but you protected me. I'm Rydia. Again, I know my pronunciation is probably not good. Rydia? I always said Rydia when I was a kid. Caller Rydia joined. Could probably look at the Japanese for some assistance with the pronunciation of the names here, but that's not always a good way to go, as we will talk about when we eventually get to Final Fantasy VII and the Aerith versus Aerith debate. I always thought Aerith sounded really weird, like you're saying Aerith but with a lisp, Aerith. I found out at the first school I taught at when I got to Japan, my first task was grading notebooks, and all of the kids had been taught that the Japanese letter or sound su was translated into English as th. So I open up the notebook, and the name Thomas, instead of being spelled Thomas, is spelled Thomath. Tomath. So I can't confirm it, obviously. I can't say that, oh, Square's original intention was to call the character Aerith. But I'm pretty sure that it was supposed to be Eris, and then someone on the Square side, Japan, said, oh, well, we've been pronouncing Eris as Eris in English, when it should be Aerith, because Su should be translated as the TH sound. Anyway, we'll talk more about it when we get to FF7. Tella has brought up his daughter Anna alone, but Anna ran away. Good to know, I guess. What do we have here? Anything good? Not much. The carrots, that's a new item. Like carrots summon big chocobos. The big chocobos basically act as your bank. So you have limited item space that you yourself can hold, but the big chocobos, kookaboos, will hold, I think, infinite amounts of items for you. You just need to find one and give him a carrot. Capo's special refreshment for desert parched throats. Okay. There's a person we can talk to. I always thought this guy looked like Edgar from Final Fantasy VI. I'm on my way to Fable, but a strange old man is denying the way in the watery pass. Okay. Good to know. Only the Damcian? Told you pronunciation is going to be a problem. I keep bringing it up for reasons. Only the Damcian royalty can enter Cave Antlion to the east of Damcian. Alright. Welcome. We have few customers these days because of the monsters. All good stuff to know. Honestly, sounds like they need a witcher. Alright. Moving on out here. So I think what we're going to do today is we'll explore the town of Capo, see if there's any equipment we can buy, things to do, and then we'll call it a night there, and we'll do the Watery Pass next time, which will probably be Sunday evening. Armor shop. So we're not just buying for us anymore, Cecil. We also have Rydia here, who it looks like can use all of this stuff. But of course, we should be smart about this and check if she's equipped with anything first. She's got a rod, a cap, a leather, I'm guessing, jerkin, and an iron ring. So that's all good stuff. Rod, cap, leather, iron. She's got everything. This cloth tunic here is not nearly as good as the leather, so yeah, she doesn't need anything here. I'll tell you what she does need, though, is if you take a close look at this, she's at level 1, Cecil's at level 12. So the first thing we're going to do when we get out of town here is we're going to have to run around and level up. I may do that off stream, so you guys don't have to watch that, but we'll see. Underground waterways northeast of Capo, but 8 big sea snakes are blocking the way. Uh-oh. Why did it have to be snakes? Anna fell in love with a man, but Tella didn't allow her to see him, so they ran away. So this Tella and Anna, his daughter, are kind of the talk of the town here. Lots of people gossiping about what's going on there. Welcome to Capo of the Damsayan Desert. What I do like in this game is you can push people out of your way. You can't do that in every game. So this is the training room again. I don't know if it's the same information as in the town of Barren or not. I think it is. I'm just going to do a quick check here because I don't remember if there's anything of value here that we can grab. But yeah, it looks like the exact same layout as in Barren. So we don't need to talk to these guys because, hey, we're experts. One of the things I miss from Final Fantasy VI, though, I'll tell you, is the sprint shoes, where you can hold down a button and your character basically walks twice as fast. Oh. The controller that I'm using is really sensitive on the left-right. If you at all, I don't know if you can see this, but if I tap at all on here, like in an up or down, even though I'm just touching the right stick here, it'll move the character up or down. So it's really sensitive. I like it because it feels like an SNES controller, but it's not. And it's a little wonky in that department. Okay, so rods are good for black mages, staffs are good for white mages. And a lot of different people can use bows. We're going to keep Rydia with her rod. We'll come across a better one when we get into the watery pass. Hey, there we go, found some ether. Ether, of course, the way to restore your magic points. The Damsayan Castle in the north governs this area. The Crown Prince sings beautifully as a bard. Keep that in mind. This is important, right? And that's actually a really good reminder that I want to change, form, where Rydia is. She was in the front row. We're going to move her to the back row. Front row, you give and take 100% damage. In the back row, you give and take 50% physical damage. Now, Rydia is going to be in the back row, so she takes half damage. And we don't really care about her damage output for physical attacks because she is a wizard. She actually, at this point in the game, has more magic than a lot of people. You'll see here she's got white magic, black magic, and call magic. She can only really access call right now, but later on, as she levels up, she'll get white and black magic. I don't know that any other character in the game has all three, and she doesn't have all three for forever, but we'll get there. I want to go to Damsayan to be a dancer. Watch me dance. That's another one of these. Tell you something embarrassing. That is a real piece of music, a classical piece of music, and I never knew that until a friend of mine was humming it or something, or talking about the classical piece of music, and the only place I knew it from was this game. I sounded like an idiot. A girl from Baron was kept from falling down. She kept calling a name. Do you know Cecil? That does not sound good. Cecil's having a pretty rough week here. Jeez. Rosa! Rosa. Cecil. Don't leave me, Cecil. You can talk to her again, but she just keeps saying the same thing. We need sand ruby to cure the fever, but it is in the lair of the monster called Antlion. And you read the books here. The best remedy for the desert fever is the sand ruby. So this is kind of bringing together everything that we've heard in town so far. We know that there is a castle of Damcyan where there's a prince who is a bard. Only the royalty, I think someone told us, of the Damcyan family can enter the cave of the Antlion. And we know that there is a guy named Tella who wouldn't let his daughter Anna marry the prince. And there's an old man blocking the way into the watery pass. So that is setting us up for the next stage of our journey here. So I think I will just head outside here and do a few random battles in order to level up Rydia, because that is very important. Just go around the lake in the Oasis here. And we can enjoy the awesome overworld theme music of this game, as well as me constantly talking over it. Because I'm sure... Alright. Whoa, get down to business. I was going to say, because I'm sure you are enjoying the sound of my voice as much as I am. So what I've done here is, obviously, like I said, put Rydia in the back row. I'm also having her use the parry command, so that she takes even less damage than she would. Because, again, the goal here is just to make sure that she is safe and protected while we are leveling her up. Oh, see, she gained 1 level, so she's at level 2, and she's already starting to learn magic. So she's just learned Ice 1, and look, she's gained another level. Learned Cure 1, that'll be helpful. So from 1 fight with 4 Sandmen, we've gained 2 levels. That's pretty good. And you want to do this now. You don't want to do this once you get to the Watery Pass for a number of reasons. One, the enemies in the Watery Pass are more difficult than the ones out here. And 2, when we get to the Watery Pass, spoiler alert, we're going to get another character, in the party. And that other character, oops, I just messed it up. That other character is going to be a third person in our party, which will dilute the experience that we're gaining. And we obviously don't want that. Yeah, because when we dilute the experience points, basically everyone just levels up slower. So no levels that time. Imps are the weakest enemy in the game. It was kind of fortunate that we ran into that group of 4 Sandmen to really get us off to a good start. Who do we have? Oh, good. Good. You know what? Now that she's got Ice 1, I wonder if she's strong enough that she can actually really start helping us here. Let's try... Oh, there we go. Okay. So, I had a controller brain fart for a minute. I was using the L1 button. Oh, that's awesome. I was using the L1 button to try and select all the enemies like you would in Final Fantasy VI, but no, in this game you just push left or right. Okay. Slowly remembering what's going on here. So that's nice, she gained another level. I'd like to get her up till like 8 or 9, just to make sure that she's really not going to be a liability when we get into the watery pass. Oh, nice. Okay. Nice. So there's Lit 1 that she just learned. Lit 1, again, as we talked about last time, being lightning. They would change it for the rest of the Final Fantasy series into Bolt right after this game. We got a new enemy here, Sand Moths. Uh-oh, she's out of magic. Yep, okay, so my bad. I should have gone back to town, gone to the inn, rejuvenated our magic points, but I wasn't thinking, so we're just going to have to tough it out with physical attacks here. Boy, see, that's why I'm parrying with her, because she just took a hit for a third of her remaining hit points. We're going to do the leveling up now so that next time we don't have to waste a bunch of time. We can get right into the watery pass. Alright, I am going to go back into the town now. We're going to hit the inn. Oh, where are we going here? And we want to restore our HP and MP and go right back out there. But again, 50 gold. Jeez. 50 gold, man. Imagine 50 bucks in 1991 for a communal room. No. Let's go. Indeed. So, nice thing is, again, each time we level up, everything gets a little bit easier. If we're lucky, Cecil will level up at least once while we're doing this as well. Again, just to make sure that we're ahead of the curve before we get to the watery pass. I remember the watery pass being really difficult when I was a kid. Lots of tough monsters in there if you're not prepared. Okay, so we keep using ice because that seems logical. These are monsters in the desert. Chances are they're opposed. Oh, no, see, that didn't work. With the sand guys, the sandmen, it worked great. Not so much with these guys. I wonder if lightning would be better. I'm not going to try it, though. We're going to conserve that MP. Decided to fight with her. Yeah, she hit it for 3. So the mage characters in this game, any wizard just has terrible aim with physical attacks. Good, gained another level. And we got a cure 2 also. That's actually really powerful at this stage of the game. Going around, going around. Alright, yeah, this is a spot where that ice spell should do a lot of good. There we go. Nice. So it didn't do much on the Sandpede, but the Sandmen really apparently do not like ice. They're desert monsters, and we're hitting them with an Arctic Blast. Okay, when she gains her next level, I'm going to check where she's at. And you know what? We're going to try the lightning here. Why not? I don't think it'll have any effect, but you never know. Nope, nothing. Oh great, and it's using Drain. That's never a good sign. Alright. Still no level. Honestly, it's kind of a good thing. It means that she's built up her levels, so now it's taking a little bit longer for her to gain them. So again, we'll check where she's at when she gains her next level. And yeah, we'll see if that's good enough for what we want for... Ooh, that's a big thing. A sandworm. Oh, out of magic also. Not good. Oh, Shy Hulud. I didn't know you could do that. Thank goodness it wasn't very powerful. Not much experience either. Hey, Cecil gained a level though. That's something. And Rydia. She learned Hold. Okay. She's at level 7 now. I'd like to gain, I think, one more. So we're going to rest one more time at the inn here. And then we'll gain one more level. And then we'll call it a night. Obviously, I'm using the inn here. Inns are cheaper than using tents. Something else that I don't think I knew when I was a kid. Playing this for the first time, so hey, wisdom with age, I guess. don't stay in a tent when you can stay at a hotel. All right, come on, one more level, let's go. Okay, we know how to deal with these guys. Ice magic. Nice. Alright, in search of one last level. Right up to level 8. Ah, these guys are worth nothing. See what I mean about mages just having terrible aim. Always kind of bugged me. I guess it makes sense. Like, their focus is magic, not on, you know, smacking sword-wielding imps. Yeah, no surprise, no level from that. We're getting closer. Oh, this should be good. You know what? Oops, that change. Hit the wrong button. Now we're in trouble. Let's see if we can get this off real quick. Nice. So in Final Fantasy VI, I believe you can switch which character you're looking at by hitting a button, like whose turn it is if multiple ones are ready to go all at the same time. I don't think you can do this do that in this game. Alright, no level yet, but we're well on our way. I mean, the game's complex, but in some respects it is so simple compared to Final Fantasy VI. These nothing guys again. Still nothing, but we're getting closer. We can always check the status here. We can see that she has 79 experience left before she levels up. Cecil has 1400. So obviously we're not going to wait for another level for Cecil, but Rydia really is closing in on her next level. So it'll either be this fight or the next one. What's it going to be? It's going to be the next one. These guys, as you've seen, are only giving us 40 experience per battle. And again, that may be... I can't remember if the 40 is divided between the two of them, so if they get 20 apiece. I think that's what it is. I'm going to check after this because I'm legit curious about how that works. Nice. Power hit. Okay, so we got 40 experience for this battle. Nice. Another cure too. And so if I go down to status here... Oh, okay, so I guess they each get 40. My mistake. But it remains, the more people you have in your party, the less experience you get. So instead of them each getting 40, if I had a third person in here, they'd get, what, 29, 30, something like that. It'd basically be 80, which is what it's, the total amount is, and divided by 3 instead of divided by 2. And this should do it. There we go. And there's our level. And she learns sleep. If only we could all learn how to sleep. Okay, so I am going to rest at the inn for the final time here, and then we are going to call it an evening. And we'll save, and then next time, which again, like I said, I believe will be Sunday evening, we're going to go into the Watery Pass and see what's there. We know that supposedly there's an old man, and we know that there are 8 sea snakes. So we're going to find out what all of that is all about next time. So that is about it. I'm going to head out of town and save. And let's see here. All right. And that is all for this evening. Thank you very much if you are joining me now, or if you are catching this at a later date. Tune in next time, and I will see you then. Have a good night.